Chapter Chapter 10 Lifespan Development. Chapter 10 Socioemotional Development in Middle and Late Childhood. Emotional and personality development, families, peers, and school. The self. Development of self-understanding during middle and late childhood. Number 1. Children 8 to 11 describe themselves in terms psychological characteristic and traits. Number 2. Children recognize social characteristic of the self. Number 3. Self-description increasingly involves social comparison. Understanding others. Perspective taking, social cognitive process involved in assuming the perspective of others and understanding their thought and feelings. Perspective taking, social cognitive process involved in assuming the perspective of others and understanding their thought and feelings. Children become skeptical of other claims. Without good perspective taking skills, more likely to be oppositional, have difficult with relationship. Self-esteem and self-concept. Foundation start with quality parents-child interaction. Self-esteem and self-concept. Foundation start with quality parent-child interaction. Self-esteem and self-concept. Foundation start with quality parent-child interaction. Self-esteem, global evaluation of the self. Self-esteem, global evaluation of self. Self-esteem referred to as self-worth or self-image. Self-esteem referred to as self-worth or self-image. Self-concept. Self-concept, domain specific evaluation of the self. Self-concept, domain specific evaluation of the self. Children with high self-esteem. Children with high self-esteem do not better in school. Inflated self-esteem can distort ability, have greater initiative, can be positive or negative. Children with low self-esteem. Children with low self-esteem linked to obesity, anxiety, depression, suicide, and delinquency can be either accurate, distorted self-perception. Children with low self-esteem linked to obesity, anxiety, depression, suicide, delinquency can be either accurate or distorted self-perception. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy, belief that one can master a situation and produce favorable outcomes. Self-efficacy, belief that one can master a situation and produce favorable outcome. Self-regulation. Self-regulation characterized by deliberate effort to manage one behavior, emotion, and thought. Self-regulation characterized by deliberate effort to manage one behavior, emotion, and thought. Number 1, lead to increased social competence and achievement. Self-regulation characterized by deliberate effort to manage one behavior, emotion, and thought. Number 1 can be lead to increased social competence and achievement. Industry versus inferiority. Industry versus inferiority. Industry, children become interested in how things are made, work, receive parental encourage. Industry, receive parental encourage. Industry, children become interested in how things are made and work, receive parental encouragement. Parents who see children effort as mischief or making a mess encourage inferiority. Parents who see children effort as mischief or making a mess encourage inferiority. Parents who see children effort as a mischief or making a mess encourage inferiority. Emotional development. Developmental change. Developmental change. Number 1, improve emotional understanding. Number 2, increase understanding that more than one emotion can be experienced in particular situation. Number 3, increase awareness of the event leading to emotional reaction. Developmental change. Number 1, improve emotional understanding. Number 2, increase understanding that more than one emotion can be experienced in particular situation. Number 3, increase awareness of the event leading to emotional reaction. Next, emotional development. Ability to suppress or conceal negative emotional reaction. Next, use of self-initiated strategies for redirecting feelings. Last, capacity for genuine empathy. Social Emotional Education Program. Committee for Children and Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. Asterisk, it called CASEL. CASEL is developed program to improve children lives. Committee for Children and Collaborative of Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL. It will be developed program to improve children lives. Second step, teaches social, cognitive, and emotional skills. Second step, teaches social, cognitive, and emotional skills, pre-K through 8th grade, specialized for each developmental stage. Second step, teacher social, cognitive, and emotional skills like pre-K through 8th grade. They are specialized for each developmental stage. CASEL, CASEL. CASEL target core social and emotional learning domains. CASEL target is social and emotional learning domains. CASEL target core social emotional learning domains. Number 1, self-awareness. Number 2, self-management. Number 3, social awareness. Number 4, relationship skills. Number 5, responsible decision making. Coping with stress. Older children generate more coping alternative to stressful situation. outcomes for children who experience disaster. Number 1, acute stress reaction. Number 2, depression. Number 3, panic disorder. And last is post-traumatic stress disorder. Child and adolescent psychiatrists help youth cope with stress and trauma, such as witnessing school shooting. Child and adolescent psychiatrists help youth cope with stress and trauma, such as like witnessing school shooting. Colbert Level 1. Colbert Level 1, Pre-conventional reasoning. Colbert Level 1, Pre-conventional reasoning, morality not internalized. Stage 1, heteronymous morality. Stage 1, heteronymous morality. It is moral decisions are based on fear of punishment. Number 2, children obey because adults tell them to. Stage 1, heteronymous morality. Number 1 is moral decisions are based on fear of punishment. Number 2, children obey because adults tell them to. Stage 2, individual, instrumental purposes and exchange. Stage 2, individual, instrumental purposes and exchange. It said, individual pursue their own interests but let others do the same. What is right involve equal exchange. Stage 2, individual, instrumental purpose and exchange. It said, individual pursue their own interests but let others to do same. What is right involve equal exchange. Colbert's Level 2, conventional reasoning. Colbert's Level 2, conventional reasoning. Individual abide by internal and external standard. For example, parent and law. Colbert Level 2, conventional reasoning. Individual abide by internal and external standard. For example, parent and law. It said, number 1, stage 3, mutual interpersonal expectation, relationship, and interpersonal conformity. Number 2, trust, caring, loyalty to others, value as a basis for moral judgment. Stage 4, social system morality. Stage 4, social system morality, moral judgment based on understanding social order, law, justice, and duty. Stage 4, social system morality. It said moral judgment based on understanding social order, law, justice, and duty. Colbert Level 3. Colbert Level 3, post-conventional reasoning. Colbert Level 3, post-conventional reasoning. It said morality is more internal. Morality is more internal. It said stage 5, social contract or utility in the individual rights. Stage 6, universal ethical principle. Influence on Colbert stage. Influence in Colbert stage, cognitive development, experience dealing with moral question and moral conflict. Number 3, peer interaction and perspective taking. Colbert critics. Colbert critics, moral thought and behavior. It said too much emphasis on thought and not enough emphasis on behavior. Moral thought and behavior. Colbert critics, moral thought and behavior. It said too much emphasis on thought and not enough emphasis on behavior. Conscious, deliberate versus unconscious automatic. Conscious, deliberate versus unconscious automatic. It said moral behavior can be automatic. Moral behavior can be automatic. Culture and moral reasoning. Culture and moral reasoning, it said theory is cultural bias. Number 2, need to address issue including decline of post-conventional moral reasoning to lowest level or personal interest. Number 3, some researchers emphasize the need to deal with increased possible temptation and wrongdoing in increasingly complex social world. Colbert's critique, the role of emotion. Emotion strongly influence morality, intuitive feelings or right and wrong. Families and moral development. Families and moral development argue that parents' moral values and action influence children's development of moral reasoning. Gender and care perspective. Gender and care perspective, it say number 1, gender perspective focus on right of individual and on which individual independently make moral decision. Justice perspective focus on right of individual and on which individual independently make moral decision. Care perspective view. Care perspective view people in terms of connectedness with others. It says emphasize interpersonal communication, relationship with others, concern for others. Care perspective views people in terms of connectedness with others. Emphasize interpersonal communication. Emphasize interpersonal communication, relationship with others, concern for others. Domain theory. Domain theory, moral, social conventional, personal reasoning. Domain theory of moral development. Domain theory of moral development, different domain of social knowledge and reasoning. Different domains of social knowledge and reasoning, moral, social, conventional, and personal domain. Social conventional reasoning, focus on conventional rules established by social consensus in order to control behavior and maintain the social system. Pro-social behavior. Pro-social behavior studies behavioral aspect of moral development. Moral personality. Moral personality component include moral identity, moral character, moral exemplar. Gender and care perspective. Gender and care perspective, moral perspective viewing people in term connectedness with others. Gender and care perspective, moral perspective viewing people in term of connectedness with other. Emphasis on number 1, interpersonal communication. Number 2, relationship and concern of others. Gender stereotype. Gender stereotype, broad categories that reflect general impression and belief about males and females. Gender stereotype, broad categories that reflect general impression and belief about males and females. Gender similarities and differences. Gender similarities and differences. Number 1, physical development. Number 2, cognitive development. And number 3, socio-emotional development. Cognitive development. Gender difference like verbal skills, girls better. Number 2, no difference in math. Number 3, visuospatial skill. Visuospatial skills, some girls better. Writing skills, girls better. Achievement, girls better but complex issue. Socio-emotional development. Aggression, boys physically, girls verbally. Emotion. Overall, small difference. Girl can recognize non-verbal emotion. Number 2, girl can show more sympathy, internalize emotion, self-regulate. Pro-social behavior. Pro-social behavior, girl more pro-social and empathic. Gender in context. Gender in context, traits people display may vary with situation. Families. Families, developmental change in parent-child relationship. Parents as a manager. Attachment in families. Step families. Developmental change in parent-child relationship. Number 1, parents spend less time with children during middle and late childhood. Parents support and stimulate children academic achievement. Parents use less physical form of punishment as children's age. Co-regulation start as some control is transferred from parent to child. Next is children engage in moment-to-moment self-regulation. Next is children move toward autonomy starting around age 12. Parents as a manager. Parents, number 1, parent as a manager. Number 1, parents manage children opportunities, monitor behavior, and initiate social contact. More mother role than father. Number 2, important to maintain structure and organized family environment. Number 3, positively related to student grades and self-responsibility, and negatively to school-related problems. Attachment in families. Become more sophisticated. Children spend less time with parents. Social world expands secure attachment. Associated with lower levels of internalized symptom, anxiety, depression. Associated with lower level of internalized symptom, anxiety, and depression. Associated with higher level of step families. Step families, remarriage involving children, has grown in recent years. Types of step family structure: stepfather, stepmother, blended or complex. Developmental change. Developmental change, number 1, peer status, social cognition, bullying, friends. Developmental change, number 1, reciprocity. Developmental change, reciprocity become important in peer interchange. Number 2, size of peer group increases. Number 3, peer interaction is less closely supervised by adult. Number 4, children preference for same-sex peer group increases. Sociometric status. Sociometric status extent to which children are liked, disliked by peer group. Sociometric status extent to which children are liked or disliked by peer group. Peer status. Number 1, popular children frequently nominated as a best friend and rarely disliked by peers. Number 2, average children. Average children receive an average number of both positive and negative per nomination. Number 3, neglected children. Neglected children infrequently nominated as a best friend but not disliked by peers. Rejected children. Rejected children infrequently nominated as a best friend and actively disliked by peers. Controversial children. Controversial children frequently nominated both as someone best friend and also disliked by peers. Social cognition. Social cognition taught about social matter. Important for understanding per relationship. Stepchildren go through in processing social information. Attend to social cues. Number 2, attribute intent to interpretation. Number 3, establish social goal. Number 4, access behavioral script from memory. Number 5, generate problem-solving strategies. Number 6, evaluate the effectiveness of strategies. Number 7, make decision and enact behavior. Bullying. Bullying is verbal or physical behavior intended to disturb someone less powerful, most likely to be bully. Boys. Anxious, awkward, withdrawn, and younger middle school student. Bullied children report loneliness. Bullied children report loneliness, difficulty making friends. Cause of concern, peer bullying and cyberbullying. Outcomes of bullying. Outcomes of bullying, number 1 is low self-esteem, depression, suicidal, and attempted to suicide. As adult, anxiety, depression, agoraphobia, and mental health services. Social context. Social context, poverty, family support of lack theory, school and peer groups. Friendship. Friendship plays important role in emotional well-being and academic success. Friends, typically characterized by similarity. Function of friendship. Function of friendship, number 1, companionship, stimulation, physical support, ego support, social comparison, affection, and intimacy. Intimacy in friendship, self-disclosure and sharing of private thought. Intimacy of friendship, self-disclosure and sharing of private thought. School. Contemporary approach to student learning, socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture. School, contemporary approach to student learning, constructivities and direct instruction approach. Constructivities approach, learner-centered approach emphasize the importance individual actively constructing their own knowledge and understanding with guidance from a teacher. Constructivities approach, learner-centered approach emphasize the importance of individual actively constructing their own knowledge and understanding with guidance from a teacher. Direct instruction approach, structured teacher-centered approach characterized by number 1, teacher direction and control, mastery of academic skills. Number 3, high expectation for student progress. Number 4, maximum time spent on learning tasks. Number 6, effort to keep negative effect to a minimum. Accountability, number 1, no child left behind, NCLB, legislation being replaced. Number 2, every student succeed act, ESSA, implemented during 2017 to 2018 school year. Number 3, statewide standard testing law, changing as our measurement for tracking success. Number 4, state can out of common core standard. Socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture. Students from low-income and ethnic minority background have more difficult in school are not overcoming barriers to achievement. Number 2, U.S. students have lower achievement in math and science than a number of other countries. U.S. students have lower achievement in math and science than a number of other countries. Socioeconomic status, ethnicity, and culture. Education of students from low-income background. Number 1, face more barrier to learning. Number 2, school in low-income area tend to have more students with low achievement test score. Next is low graduation rate. Next is smaller percentage of students going to college. Next, young teacher with less experience. Last is fewer resources including decent building. Ethnicity in school. Strategies for involving relationship among ethnically diverse students. Number 1, turn the class into jigsaw classroom. Number 2, encourage students to have positive personal contact with diverse other students. Number 3, reduce bias. Number 4, view school and community as a team. Number 4, be a competent cultural mediator. Cross-cultural comparison of achievement. 2015 Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study, TIMMS. Study found that out of 48 countries, American children place 11 in 4th grade math, 8 in 4th grade science. Asian teachers spend more time teaching math than American teacher. Asian children spend more days per year in school than American children. Mindset, cognitive view, individual development for themselves, fixed mindset, and growth mindset. The end. Thank you. Bye-bye.